Great. Hello and welcome to another CIHP Audio Insight. And again, we are doing these audios to add contemplative and information, knowledge gathering for our clients and everyone else who's listening. Today, we have Melissa Filla with us, and many of you who are clients or members for some time certainly know who Melissa is. She is our lead practitioner there at the Central Institute in St. Louis, has been for a long time, and just as many know, has great talent and experience of helping people on the floor and through their journey of pain and recovery, and also leads our team of practitioners there in St. Louis to get better and better all the time. So welcome, Melissa.
Happy to be here.
Wonderful. And this week we're continuing our talk on patience. And patience is a wonderful word. It's ironic that it is also symbolistic of the word patient, and it is what's required to heal, to be patient, and to be patient as a patient. And I think you certainly, of all of our teammates, would know that you've been side by side with so many of our clients with persistent pain for years. Any initial thoughts on that idea of having patience for recovery?
Yeah, it's definitely something we all practice daily, individually. But our patients and clients, it's something that has to be learned. And I think in recent discussions and your recent talk with Mark, we heard him comment about hammering away at his pain, both through activity and golfing, etc. And really, it was that learned patience that he had and developed with our approach that really let him really fly with recovery, less pain, and then recouping more quickly after he has had a pain episode.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're going to play one of the clips from Mark's conversation last week on the audio broadcast here in just a minute. And yeah, I thought he spoke to all those elements of patience that we've encountered, and I love some of his comments early on about how during the first 3 or maybe even said 6 months, he wasn't quite sure if these simple exercises that we'd given him were working, and yet he had the patience, and I think what sometimes aligns with patience is trust. I just consulted a new client today, and I made the comment to him. I said, you're really going to have to trust in what we're doing, because it's going to seem simple, and so I think trust is a partner of patience.
Yeah, for sure.
So you mentioned there in the beginning that we all practice it, and I think as practitioners, and maybe you can speak to this, as practitioners, we also have to have patience as our clients are learning and going down these paths. Patience for them to gain that trust and faith in what's happening for them. Is there anything that any story or anything you do that helps you have more patience?
Yeah, great question. It's really about perspective. We have the gift of being able to spend a lot of time with our clients. So it's easier to get to know them. Spend, some time thinking about being in their shoes. So, and really it's that interpersonal, work we're doing where we can really tailor things to them. And that really helps give us perspective to have that patience. What are they thinking? What does this feel like to them? Are they fearful? Are we recognizing that they're not trusting the process, so that we can kind of step back, see things through their lens, and reminding ourselves to do that every day.
Yeah, that's great. I think as much as we can to have their perspective where they are in their journey, and learning is a key piece for sure. And yeah, you're often spending 3 hours a week with a lot of these folks virtually and or on site, and that's a lot of time to get to know them and educate them on that perspective piece as well as patience piece. All right, well let's go ahead and listen to Mark's little clip here on what he thought he was experiencing and doing all those 20 years with his gym work and golf work. So I'm going to go ahead and play this right now as just a follow up, and then we'll comment on that at the end.
Yeah, I think of all the years that I had been working out in the gym, and I had been in pain in many parts of my body for probably 25 to 30 years. And yet I continued to work through it. In my mind, I thought I still need to go to the gym and work out, even though I'm feeling certain pain and pain in different body parts. It's still good to work out and I should continue it. But just after hearing this story that you just told about the bicycle, I was merely taking a hammer to my body every time I went to the gym. I think I was taking a hammer to my body every time I took a golf swing. And I was just creating more and more dysfunction. A year ago or so, I had mentioned to you that I golf with a lot of guys in their mid-60s and they're not having any problems. And you had said, not yet. And it makes me think of so many of us start to have some dysfunction in our body in our 30s, 40s, 50s. And your comment of not yet was spot on, because a year has gone by and several of my buddies have got issues now. One is looking at a knee replacement. The other one's looking at a hip replacement. The other one's looking at having his neck fused. None of these problems existed a year ago. And the question I always like to ask is, did you have a severe injury to that part of your body? Seems like a basic common sense question, and the answer always is no. So I see a lot of people in a dysfunctional state, especially in their mid-60s and even earlier, and many times they do need a replacement. But so often I think that time and patience and building up that resiliency I just look at what the clinic has done for me. I'm in a completely different place now. Just feeling healthy, feeling more joyful, feeling strong, and looking at life just much differently these days, because I'm feeling good.
All right. Yeah. Gosh, I just want to pull him in for more and more talks, because he just lands so many good messages. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and we have this other wonderful client that actually you and I have both met with in the last week, and he really reminds me of Mark in a lot of ways. This gentleman has had pain for a long time, and he's very gritty. He has grit, so he's been working through his pain and dysfunction for years, decades. And his story doesn't completely parallel Mark's, but very similar. So we really narrowed things in, hit the target, cut out most of everything he's doing. And this is a very active guy. Instead of golf, this guy was paddleboarding, playing pickleball, hiking, you name it, weightlifting. They're about the same age. And this other gentleman, he trusted us, even though he really thrives on movement and being outdoors. And we've really neuromuscularly limited his activity for the last 3 or so months. In the last few weeks, he's really reached out and asked to do a few more things. And what we did was we did a full reassessment on him, actually virtually. And it showed that he is consistently neuromuscularly showing that he's ready for more. And the discussion I had with this gentleman today is you're going to hurt again. Similar to Mark's situation. You're going to start grading into these activities and you'll feel some things. You'll have some signaling, but you have the tools to get out of them more quickly, and we're here and we'll help guide that. So I'm really excited to see how this gentleman sort of progresses with his activity, clearance to do some more of his hobbies, and we're really hitting the ground running with some more weightlifting now. So we see it every week, every day here at the clinic.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, and he too really was disciplined and did the work that we recommended and nothing else. Stopped all those activities that he really liked, and yeah, like Mark, he now has the capacity. We feel confident in saying, yep, go ahead, paddleboard, go ahead, and begin some more intense resistance work. And yes, you will likely bump into signals again. You will bump into some pain, and it'll be okay because you now have capacity that your body will respond and turn it around, just like it turned it around with Mark, versus leading to weeks and weeks of trouble. And I think the other part is when the pain is. So I think both of these fellas, their pain really reduced, and then they were ready to start doing more things. And I think sometimes the harder client is the one that is still having some signals, but we're seeing other objective measures improve. They're gaining muscle, they're losing fat, their movement tolerance through our testing is better. They're able to do a lunge now. They're able to do other movements that they couldn't do before, but they're still having their signals. They're still having their pain, and to help them know that things are better and to keep going, even though they're still having some signals. Those are sometimes a tougher spot for folks.
Yeah, they really are. And those folks, it's that graded exposure to the activity, developing new neurotags for their body to respond, progressively better to familiar movements that at one time created signal. And that it's a slow build. And there's no specific timeline on that. It's individual for everybody. And I think these stories that we're telling and that our team tells with every interaction really can help folks start building that trust, even though they're still having the signaling that their body can do it. Especially when we say green light to go to do this. The stories are pretty important.
Yeah, for sure. Our brains love stories. So I appreciate you coming on, taking some time out of your day. Any last words on patience before we finish?
Yeah, something that really stuck out to me in this series, this interview with Mark and the conversations afterwards, was something that you said in a different part of the clip, and that was precision. When you have precision along with this patience, when you have clear objectives, things really come together. And that leads to that self-efficacy that we're always hoping for with our patients and clients. So I just like that word.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that came to me through a reading. Precision is everything, and it is, and it's what unleashes the amazing capacity of the body, that precision of hitting the target. It's what we all are really trying to do. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much, and thank you to everyone who's listening in. If you haven't heard Mark's entire clip and YouTube audio, we're going to link it at the bottom of this today, so you can click on that and hear the whole thing. The whole thing is worth the 30 minutes that it takes. He's got just a great story and a lot of great messages. So if you haven't heard that, click onto that, and we will see you this Sunday with our upcoming insight. It'll be the second written series on patients stuck in reverse. Be sure to look for that this Sunday. And reach for the stars and help others reach for the stars. Thank you.